Matters Arising. As you all know, we always start before the due time so that we can we'll have all the time to get our seats ready, sit down, get our books. If you're using book, get your books, get your pen ready before I now bring the speaker to the camera. So in case you're using your iPad, you can have your iPad ready. But what I'm trying to say is we have to start before time so as to give us enough time to sit down and begin to invite our friends. So can I have the link so that I can also invite my friends? So remember um the speaker has not been brought on live studio. So let's start coming in before I bring him to the live studio, the live broadcast. All right. So let's I have some seats for people. If you don't come in on time, you won't have those seats. I remember I always give gifts. You don't know what I'm about to give out today. So can we have them start coming in? We are live. So I'm also doing that. I'm also inviting my people. Let's let's start doing that. All right, we have 2 more minutes to go before we bring in our guest speaker. And I'm sure that our questions are ready. I'm seeing people on YouTube. Sorry, we cannot stream on Instagram today. It's impossible. We cannot stream on Instagram. But we're going to do a replay on Instagram. But we're live on YouTube and Facebook. Okay, we apologize for that. I know we always cheat on Instagram. It's not my fault. The software refused to work with Instagram. Um, so we have 2 more minutes to go. I'm still inviting people. For those of you that have come in, I'm inviting my own people, my own set of people. Matters Arise in May edition. Caleb, better get your people ready. I've seen you. Get your people ready, your editors. Get them ready. Mercy Ebuchi, you came early today. Oh my God, what happened? Is Rapture coming today? I need to find out if Rapture is coming today. I think, or you're in the wrong platform because I know you're always coming late. Hmm? What happened today? Okay, so we have 1 more minute to bring in our speaker. And for those of you who don't know what Matters Arising is, Matters Arising is a forum that I get to discuss the very essential issues with the very essential issues bothering young people with special guest speakers. So those of us that have come in already, you are entitled to my gift. I'd like you to begin to invite your friends, invite your colleagues, invite your peers to join us because today's topic is very important. And if you've been following us, you will know that I don't play with our topics or matters arising because I want the African youth, especially the Nigerian youth, to be at the forefront. Even if they're in Nigeria, it doesn't matter. Wherever you are, you can still be a trailblazer because the truth is, Nigerian youths are trailblazers wherever they are, all over the world. Even the guest speaker for today is a trailblazer and he's a Nigerian youth. So I always look for the best individuals to bring to us. So whether you're back home in Nigeria or anywhere, be a trailblazer. All right, it's 2 o'clock. I'm about to bring our guest speaker. Are we ready? Okay, so I'm about to add him to the. Yes, he's here now. You're
Already,
welcome.
yes, yes,
Tell me, Tope. You are welcome, darling. And your
thank you.
smile is something that can send everybody, like everybody will just melt. It's what what's this guy? This guy that sang Kizane said, this is Buga's song. He said, you uh, just relax.
Yeah,
That's what your
definitely.
smile does. So
Thank you.
thank you for saying yes to us today, and thank you for being on the show today. So my
Okay.
people, are you ready? Those of you complaining on Facebook, please just go to YouTube. You don't have to be limited today. Go to wherever you choose, but not Instagram. Okay, so remember the way as we always do it. If you have questions. We gathered some questions for the guest speaker, but that doesn't mean that you have instant question in the course of his explanation, and then we won't take the question. No, we will do that if it's related to what he has shared. So Mr. Lucky will just briefly introduce himself, and then he will just get into the topic fully before he start asking the questions that he will respond to. Because today we're looking at navigating career crossroads, so it's going to just give us a understanding of career, different career crossroads that you, as maybe a new graduate or final year student, or you are even in year one, or you are even a skilled person, can try to navigate and still make your money and still be fulfilled. All right, so Lucky, introduce yourself to us.
I once again thank you so much. It's a big honor to be here. Thank you so much for the invitation. I really appreciate it. And me myself, I'm looking forward to the things I'm going to learn today because I'm looking forward to learn from everyone definitely. So once again, my name is Lucky Temitope Oshunbi. I'm a software engineer at BMO, Bank of Montreal. I specialize in e-transfer payments in the financial side of the bank. So yeah, I'm excited to be here. And thank you so much. Thank you once again. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction. As we all know, I see Adaut is already doing what I wanted to say. Can we begin to mention our friends' names in the comment section? Because today is not a day to be stingy. It's not a day for you to just strive alone, be successful with knowledge. Remember what I always say, that an intelligent person is someone that shares knowledge, not someone that retains knowledge, or you are very stingy with what you know. The knowledge will expire, but when you share it, it expands you. So let's begin to mention our friends. Tell them, come on, because in Nigeria now, with the way it is now, you say I read banking and finance, you just be stuck. And you have to know, well, what are the things I can do with my degree? How can I navigate? How can I even make the most of opportunities? All right. So Mr. Locke is going to just talk briefly on, or not briefly, as long as he wants, he can talk on the topic navigating career crossroads. So once he's done with that, I am now going to start asking him the questions that you put together. Remember, I will still take your questions. If I see any questions on YouTube or Facebook, I'm going to take the questions because you attended the program live, not the ones that sat in their houses and sent us questions. All right, so Lucky, the stage is yours.
Yeah. So hi everyone. Once again, my name is Lucky, and when we talk about career, I think for me, I'm a new grad. So that's one of the things I was supposed to explain earlier. I'm a new grad, meaning I just graduated from college last year, November. So, like yourself, I am also still navigating my career. However, in the meantime, there are a few things I've learned by the way, and there are a few things I will definitely be sharing with you in terms of how I got into my career, how I started my career, and hopefully, by God's grace, how I plan definitely to navigate it. So, a little story about getting into my career. From school, after graduation last year, I immediately landed my career as BMO. And for the process, although sometimes it might look simple and it might sound easy, but there are definitely a lot of stories that went into it. And some of the key things I did in order to ensure I started my career at a very early and fast pace thing was before graduation at all, I could remember about 9 months, almost a year before graduation, or about 9 months, 6 months before graduation, I had already started finding ways to ensure I secure something in the future. So I didn't have to wait until diamond towards graduation before I started worrying about what next. So I started applying to different positions, applied to several positions. Some of them I got the interview, most of them I didn't. But one of the things I did was I was persistent to what I did without allowing that to reduce my vision for the future, without allowing that to like reduce my energy in order to pursue my long-term goal. So persistency and dedication is definitely one of the key strengths and one of the key things definitely to do with it. as a young individual, we all have bright future, we all have bright dreams, we all have where we want to be. Understand? And it is important for you to never lose focus because I've done several interviews, I've applied to several things, and it will have been easy for me to be like, oh, let me probably just pause for now and try something else, and me losing focus of where I want to see myself or where I want to be. Understand? And I know sometimes it is a difficult decision for many because, especially as people who probably there's nothing much for you to do while you're waiting to land a job, and you're just like, oh, I want to take on this little thing to do. And some people still do that and still keep focus on the future, while most people do that and lose focus on where they intend to be in the future. So, regardless of what you're currently facing, always make sure to keep your eyes on the ball. Understand there might be different things coming in the way to swag the wheel, like to make things look as if they're not going straight. I would just implore you to keep your eyes on the goal. No, oh, I want to be a software developer, I want to be an engineer, or I want to be a doctor, I want to be a barista, I want to be anything. Keep that at the back of your mind each time and make sure you're doing things that make you closer to your things. And even when you're doing other things, still go back at the end of the night and evaluate yourself on what have I done to ensure my vision of being a software developer is still going to be in place. What have I done to ensure that even if I'm still working at a restaurant right now, even if I'm still doing other side jobs right now, what am I doing to ensure that my vision as being a lawyer is still in place? Understand? So that is a very important possibility to associate.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you so so much. Thank you so much. This is so rich. Yes, yes. That's the right word. Bless you. That's the right word to use for him. For remember, this is just him, trying to. This is just more like introduction to what he has to offer us today. But it was so detailed and very detailed in like it's more like hey, this is my own journey. This is how I got to where I am. And remember, he's not Aunty Kelechi's age. He's a young person like you. So because if somebody like me, I'm talking like she's a woman, John. She's an old woman, But this is your age grade, and he's telling you, hey, this is it. Oh, don't think I just got everything very easy. I also followed all the pathways. I also followed the process, and I still remained at it. And then I got myself a job. So thank you for that awesome introduction. I'm going to ask him the first question. Remember, Matters Arising is the guest speaker will just give us a tip of the iceberg, and then our questions will now open him up. And remember, these questions are not mine. I don't form questions. These are questions that are formed by you all, especially those in the program planning department. They are young people, so they take the questions across all our platforms, and then we prepare them. We prepare those questions for you all. So the first question I want to ask you, Lucky, is career a lifelong activity?
Mm, that's a very good question, definitely. And I think eventually, I think I would say I have an answer to that, definitely. For growing up, we know whenever we hear about career, essentially it's about whatsoever path you choose to go in life and whatsoever you choose to do, essentially. Some people, from their from their inception to when they die, they have like a particular thing they want to be. For example, they want to become a doctor. From school, they were into sciences, took biology, took chemistry. From there, they went to university to study about medical medicine, residency. You understand? So for them, definitely, that's something they choose for like lifelong from the time they were born. And
Hmm.
for every other person, like different people have different paths to career. That's something you need to understand. And especially, I think this current world where we are, this current our current generation, Gen Z, we
Yeah.
have the flexibility to actually be anything we want to be. Understand? And
Mm-hmm.
I've discussed with several people who probably about last 10 years ago they were into finance. Last 5 years ago they were probably into something in management area. Currently they are into tech and stuff. So in
Mm-hmm.
that scenario, we could say career is a long-term goal, but that doesn't mean you have to stick to a particular role or you have to stick to a particular specialty. You understand? And
Hmm,
with the age of internet right now, I can literally decide tomorrow that oh, I don't want to become a software developer anymore. I want to probably become an accountant. There are
hmm,
different open universities online where I could go for like a 6 month, a year kind of course, and at the moment I'm done, I have my certificate. I can just apply to jobs with that. I could create a new
good.
career path for myself. Doesn't mean I have to consistently always choose to become a developer. Doesn't mean I have to become a computer nerd for a lifelong activity. Understand? So you could choose depending on the route you want to go. You could choose to be, you understand, back to back, you want to be this. If
Hmm,
that's what your vision is. Or you could either choose that or say, oh, I want to try out different things. Maybe, I mean, for this decade, I want to
hmm.
become a computer geek. I want to go into coding. I want to build applications. I want to build this. And maybe for the next decade, you're like, I feel computer geeking is not as interesting. Maybe probably I want to try management, maybe or people management or project management and stuff. I'm going to project management. And for the next decade, again, you choose, oh, I want to because right now you hear a lot of story about people transitioning from different career into tech. That gave birth to them. They had the vision that oh, I want to become this author. You
That's right.
understand? That for them I don't know if I'm still the sphere of the thing, but that for them doesn't mean the career they choose from inception is going to be a long-term goal. You understand? There's always
Mm-hmm.
stress, there's always ability to choose anything you want to be. I think it only just takes courage for you and dedication to stick and again to have what you want to be and do everything it takes to actually get there. Definitely.
Thank you so much. This is even beyond the question and beyond what I expected. And thank you. It's obvious the way our comments is reeling. Yes, career is a long time goal, but you don't necessarily have to stick yourself to one particular field. And I am so happy he's given this answer because I've coached some young people and they'll be like, so I want to study engineering, it's 5 years. Does it mean I have to be engineer all the rest of my life? And I'm like, who said you must be an engineer all the days of your life? If you decide tomorrow I want to be an accountant, hey, just take
Nobody,
open university courses online and switch. Just switch whatever you want to be, switch to it. But career is a lifetime goal. So thank you for that. And I'm sure that we are getting our minds are opening up. So you don't tell yourself I have to stick to teaching all my life. It must be teaching. No, you can always navigate. Today, remember the topic is navigating career crossroads. So you can always
and
navigate.
one thing I would like to also add is it takes a lot of courage to choose to
Mhm.
change to switch because for some that means they're ditching the old 10 years or like the old 25 years that they have in their existing career and starting all the way from the scratch. Understand? Takes a lot of courage, a lot of research, and you being showing yourself that I really want to keep all this aside and starting afresh. So definitely pray about it. Know this is where you want to go to, and with God's help, definitely nothing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right, so we get to the next question. Esther, that is awesome. I can see you're the only person writing today. Esther Sylvester, I saw it. Don't worry, you are the one that will win our gifts from Canada today. You are the only person writing. I know that some of you now will start telling me I'm writing, but Esther is the one that showed it to me. Okay, so the next question I want that is here is I am a person with multiple talents. I write, I'm an engineer, a voiceover artist, and a photographer. This one is jack of all trades. Amidst these multiple skills, I feel the need to carve a niche for myself in one. How do I find the right one? Beautiful question.
So I really love that question because that literally describes who I am at this time.
Yeah,
Like
and it was you. When I read it, I said, this is lucky. And thank God you're not the one that gave me the question. This is
you know,
exactly lucky.
when you said the question, I thought you literally meant like you're trying. You
No,
literally found the question based on
it was questions that was sent to me.
that's amazing because I myself I work as a full, my 9 to 5 is a software engineering in terms of payment. But outside of that, I have a lot of passion for photography. And outside of photography, I also do sometimes graphic designing, video editing, several things like multifaceted in that sense. So I think in terms of creating a niche for yourself, if God gives you the strength, I think you can definitely win everything at the same time. It's not easy. You understand? It's not easy in the sense that
What happened? Mm. Okay, I think I don't know what happened. Okay. Sorry, was it your network? We stopped. We couldn't see you. Can you hear me? I can't hear him. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What happened, babe? Talk. Can you hear me? Lucky, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. If you can hear me, I think it just stopped. Okay, they said they can hear you. Can you hear him? Okay, Lucky, Lucky,
can you hear me now?
yes, yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry about that. It was my, I think it's my internet that acted up.
Oh, okay. So you have to start afresh on that question because we stopped hearing you completely.
Sure, sure. Okay, yeah, so as I was saying, like you can definitely do everything if you want to. Yes, and I think you just, oh, thank you so much, Isabella. Thank you. So I think you just need to know, you have to prioritize what you want to do. Understand? And prioritizing definitely means you know what you want to focus on in terms of your career. If you want to become a software developer, if you want to become a full-time accountant or anything, that's definitely always your number one. However, that doesn't mean you should lose sight or you should lose focus on the things that are your passion or the things that are your hobby, the things you love to do. Understand? So for me, my 9 to 5, like I said, I'm a software developer definitely. But outside of that, that doesn't mean I should forget about my camera, I should forget about my passion, I should forget about the things I do. I still do that right after work. Sometimes the moment I close my work laptop, I know that's a different world. This is my world. This is where I try. This is where my creativity comes in. These are the things I love to do. Understand? So as a voiceover artist, as a photographer, as anything you want to do, anything, you don't necessarily need to create a niche. I mean, you can create a niche in the sense of your 9 to 5 is your main one, but that doesn't mean you lose sight or lose focus on the things you love to do. You understand? So you
Hmm.
could still being a voiceover artist, still being a photographer. You understand? It even makes you more of a versatile person because how many engineers do you know that is a voiceover artist? You understand? You're a special breed. You can do multiple things at the same time. So yeah, definitely.
Hmm. Thank you so much. I'm sure we heard that. For those of you that will be struggling with, oh my God, I can't be everything. The African proverb that says "Jack of all trade, master of none." That's not true. That was in 1620. Now there's nothing like you can be Jack of all trade, master of all. There's something they call utility player. You can do it, but like Lucky advised. Your need should be your 9 to 5. That's what is paying you. That's you. They can't employ you for you to appear at the office and be giving excuses like I didn't sleep well because I was doing voiceover. That's a
Okay.
no. So you have to choose which one your response, sorry, your career. Is it the 9 to 5? Like this person said, he's an engineer. So your engineer, maybe you're working in a company, in a bank or something, but wherever they are paying you 9 to 5, your 9 to 5 job is your career. Then don't lose all the things that make your life beautiful, which is your photography, which is your you say you're a voiceover artist. Those things are the things that spice up your life. So you don't lose them. Once you're done with your 9 to 5, like Lucky does. When I saw this question, I was laughing. I said, it's as if it's lucky that this question was prepared for. You just close the 9 to 5, you switch to the other ones that you make money out of them, you make life out of them, you make beauty out of them, but then it enhances your career because you become very creative, very flexible, because there's something this other aspects of you does to the main aspect of you. It makes you very sweet, very creative, and very broad. All right. So thank you for that. The next question says, can I build a career distinct from what I studied in school? Very beautiful question.
100%, 100%. And can you say?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm reading question. I can hear you.
Oh, yeah, so in terms of building career different from what you study at school, that's definitely, like I said in the beginning, a lot of people do that, and a lot of people will continue to do that. Because the thing is, some people, while registering for their school, especially with the way Nigeria is, and during your process of choosing your jam courses, most time it has happened to me like I wanted to study computer engineering, but when or Unilag will be like, oh, unfortunately, it's full in computer engineering. You have to go to geology, or you have to get,
Exactly.
different other things. And some people find themselves in that situation where
Mm-hmm.
their path was totally like it was totally derailed from where they initially want to. I think in
Mm-hmm.
that case, all you just have to do is after definitely not wasting because you learned new things and you expanded your reach outside, but after that you go back to self-learn the things you're supposed to. You understand?
Hmm.
The world is digital now. YouTube is there, Coursera is there, Udacity is there, Udemy is there. There are several online platforms where just typing your subject, even YouTube that is free, typing your subject matter or computer science 101, you will see a 20 hours video that teaches you what you learn per semester across. Like you see different online resources that will give you the knowledge that you
Hmm.
require to actually succeed in that role. You understand? Then figure out for this particular profession I want to go to, do I need a certification to proceed into it? For example,
Exactly.
if you want to become an accountant, especially here in Canada, you need like a CPA certification. So then you go again back to the online resources, back to YouTube. What to study to get my online certification. You understand? So probably they give you a list of different textbooks to read, list of different assessments to pass. You then go back again to that same online platform, to that
Mm-hmm.
examples of questions asked or like study material for this particular certification. You understand? You get a list of people who have done it in the past. You see different online resources, different online things. You take
Yeah.
study them, prepare yourself for that, pass your certifications, get your online certificate if needed, build your
Hmm.
resume and target it towards this new profession you're looking into, and start applying
Hmm.
for opportunities that way. You understand? You'll be surprised that even, I mean, depending on how you package your resume, definitely pack it properly. You'll be surprised that you even get opportunities more than those who actually went to university to study for like the last 4 years of their life. You understand?
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
combined with God's grace, combined with God's favor, definitely don't forget to pray always. You understand? That
Hmm.
combined with everything definitely will open doors in order for you to see. So yeah, Benny's
Hmm.
online resources at her age. Yeah, definitely. YouTube essentially is a very popular one, and there are thousands and millions of videos. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. You just took Benny's wow comments, but I was going to take her question. She actually asked the question. That's what I
Okay.
was looking at. So
Okay.
if she says, I think you can say it, what if one thing is taking my time such that I hope, okay, can you say the question?
Not
Such that
focus.
I cannot force and also build other areas, but I am talented in it. What should I do?
Yeah, that is a very nice question. I think most times our 9 to 5 takes a lot of it's usually extended outside 9 to 5. I think then that's when you need to go back to the blackboard and properly plan your time and properly create boundaries for yourself. One thing
Hmm,
I do, and my coworkers know that the moment my laptop is closed, like it's closed for that particular time until when it's time again to open it up. You understand? So your weekends are always there for you to do anything you want. You understand? So I know it is difficult in the sense that probably some people plan their weekend to sleep and their weekend to rest well and stuff. But you are the one that know the importance of what you want to do. You are the one that know how valuable it is to you. You understand? So you can choose to use your weekend, your Saturdays mainly. Probably you say, "Oh, I'm only going to be recording voiceover on Saturday, and probably Sunday for my photography if ever I have a gig, or probably if you're a commercial photographer, you understand, probably if you're actually making money from it as a side hustle, you tell your
hmm,
clients that I'm only available to shoot for you on Saturdays and Sunday. So any job or anything coming in has to be only on these two particular days. You understand? So exactly, thank you. So you set that boundary for yourself, saying the moment I close my laptop on Friday nights, I'm not
hmm,
opening it until Monday morning. You understand that? If you
hmm,
could actually do that, you create that time for yourself. You sacrifice again, like Ozana also emphasized. Sacrifices has to be made. You understand? You sacrifice probably your Saturday for resting, then you sacrifice that to pursue what you're
hmm.
talented at, what you want to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Be nice. I hope the question he has answered your question. And please remember, if you have any question, we will take it because we have to give you that preferential treatment as you join the program live, as opposed to those who said, "Oh, I think I have these questions. Maybe I might attend the program or not, but this is my question." Okay, so we get to the next question. Can I build a career? Okay, sorry. What factors should I consider whilst choosing a career?
Yeah, so there are several factors to consider. Definitely, number one is it depends. Number one, look at what you're good at, like naturally. Look at the things you love to do naturally because you can only enjoy your career if you actually find joy in it. Understand? You can't hate mathematics or you can't hate writing and say you want to become a literature specialist. You can't hate.
I wonder how. As how now? Like people like me that don't like mathematics, I'll not say I want to be software engineer. How?
Exactly. Like you can't eat something and say that's what you want to. Or for example, you say you want to become a broadcaster, but you're shy and introvert. Those two
Uh-huh.
doesn't mix together. So first thing, look at what you like to do naturally. For me, from
Mm-hmm.
onset, I love computers. Like I literally grew up
Mm-hmm.
in cyber cafe, like helping people type, helping people print out, helping people access the internet and stuff. So from then I knew anything I'm going to do is
Mm-hmm.
actually centered around computers. For others, they
Yes.
love numbers, they love calculating, they could choose to go
Mm-hmm.
into accounting. So all these factors into what you essentially want to do at the end of the day. You understand? So if you have actually not chosen your course yet, or if you have not applied to your university yet, take a step back, look at the things you love to do. For example, oh, I love to study about rocks, or I love to talk about plants or something like that. Then you know
Yeah.
your thing has to be targeted towards probably if it is for plants, probably towards agriculture, or probably towards this and that. So that's step one. Step two, how available is your job opportunities after studying this? It is not enough to be it is not enough to study geology and know that you have a
Hi.
geology thing without actually being much geology position available after studying. You don't want to go to school for 8 years and regret, I mean 4 years and regret that you actually wasted your time because there's nowhere to work and stuff. I mean, there's still other things to do, in the sense that you are, I mean, you could transition, like we've discussed earlier, you could say you want to go into tech and you study, but then that's a longer thing. So you check for the how available is job opportunities in this particular field. Third, what is the average salary in this
Hmm.
particular job
What
profession?
is the owo? What is the money, ego? Eh?
That's
So that people
important.
will buy me cars and houses.
Exactly. Just 2 seconds, please. I quickly want to say, I quickly want to, 2 seconds, please. I'll be here. The
All right. Okay. Okay, so I'm taking that note. I guess we'll be back in 2 seconds, which is even less than 1 minute. Maybe before I finish talking. Are you hearing all these secrets coming out of his mouth? Ha! You better take it. Oh, can you imagine the secrets? Ah, God, I'm writing. Oh, see my writing pad. I'm writing. I'm writing on both phones. If this one is too far, I'm writing on this one. Hey, the availability of jobs. Not that I must study this. I was telling one of my daughters, I said, what do you want to study? She said medicine. What is she called? She's here. And I said, go and do research on what somebody that did biology, chemistry, what are the subjects you did can do, what are the courses you can do in the international society that you can be earning so high. That was what I gave her. And once she came back, I said, that's not it. This one is small. Go back, and I've not heard from her. What is the availability of job? All of you want to do, I want to do medicine and surgery. I want to do this one, this one. What is the availability of job? Now we have charge and bail lawyers. All those ones, they will carry big, big portfolio, big, big bag. You know, those big ancient and modern bags. They will carry it. They will now turn to tenant lawyer, house lawyer. What is the availability of work before you, if you're still writing jam, check where can I get better jobs, what are the courses or fields I can get into that it will be so flexible for me to get job, whether I'm here, I'm in my country, or I'm in the international society. All right, he's back, so he's going to continue. I'll just give people that small tips. Go on
thank you,
there.
thank you so much, man. So yeah, number one, find what you're good at. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
like properly, What was number two again? The availability of job. And
Availability of jobs.
number three, what is the average salary for the positions? Understand? So after you've checked through these three, because all these three definitely takes a lot of research. You
Hmm.
understand? You go, you ask people around, you look at different examples, and then you understand, you write that down. So next thing is you look at, probably you choose a particular profession you want to go into. Maybe you want to become a developer. Understand?
Don't worry. I think is his network where he is at. So he's going to be back shortly. Don't worry. We don't used to have network problem in Canada. In fact, we're going to sue him. We're going to sue Lucky for him having network problem. It's his connection, not network. Lucky, I was telling them that we're going to sue you. Can
So,
you hear me?
yeah, yeah, I can. So yeah,
Uh,
so when that is done, you choose a definite career you want to go into. You understand? Then you can choose your course, probably what you want to study. You understand? So I think one thing about these courses is one course could lead you into several pathways. So you just
exactly.
have to be in that right course to choose eventually what you want to end up. For example, I graduated with a diploma in computer programming. I could either choose to be a software developer, I could choose to be an IT support, I could choose to be a different. There are several career paths through that particular course. Understand? So the proper thing is just for you to know where you want to land, understand, and be in the radius of it already. You understand?
Mm,
Because even if you choose that, oh, you want to go into the medical aspect, you don't
yeah.
necessarily have to be a doctor. You understand? But you studying the course could lead you into being probably an anesthetician. You could be a lab tech, or there are several other things in it. You understand? But the first step is to know where to direct yourself into, where to put you in that radius of things. You understand? And when you have successfully chosen that, so while studying, while in school, eventually you can now know your strengths. You can know that, oh, even though I'm currently studying computer programming, I'm not the best coder. So I could probably choose to become a data scientist or a data specialist or a business analyst. You understand? While studying, you can know, oh, I'm not too good with data. I can look at the data side. I'll probably become this and that. So eventually, you will figure out exactly what you love to do and you will
Hmm.
stick. But the first step is to be within the radius, within the course that leads into those particular pathways.
Oh my God. Thank you so, so much. This is so powerful. And I just wish that everyone is really listening, how you can, you can just navigate through your career path effortlessly, with knowledge, with the right knowledge, you can do that. So we're going straight to the next question. If you didn't hear all the things he said, you're on your own because I'm not here to be translating what he said. He's speaking Canadian English. So nobody paid me to
Now
translate.
just today, now just today.
No be small Naija still there. You see, still using Naija pidgin. One thing with Nigerians, I don't know, just an aside, so that people can laugh small. You people are just becoming too serious today. Just an aside, Nigerians, anywhere you meet them, no matter how many years they've been here, they will still use the pidgin. You just see them, they'll throw it into the conversation, and I'll turn and say, oh, I'm a Nigerian person. Then they always show themselves. They will always use that Nigerian pidgin. I don't know. And he just did that now. Did you hear him? He just used Nigerian pidgin now. All right. So the next one is, as an employee, I love my job. Can
Mhm.
my job substitute for my career, or does having a career mean being independent?
So yeah, so regarding this, it's career is whatsoever you make it to be. For some people, their career is literally them being an accountant over their lifetime from like while they're in school to while they die, and that's their career path. For some, their career is being a software developer at certain company and being specialized in the area of tech. For some, their career is being an entrepreneur that is owning their own business and
Yeah.
being a successful business owner. Understand? So career could be you having a 9 to 5, being an employee, or either you having your own line of business. So there's no particular or specific definition to that. You understand? So it is whatever you make it to be. The only good thing about it is just make sure to do the things that will ensure your success. Make sure to do the things that will lead you to being the top 1%. And if everybody wants to be at the top 1%, well, you definitely have to put yourself in the path that leads to the top 1%. Understand? So, yeah.
Thank you so much. That's a beautiful answer. And because I know a lot of young people are just getting confused. They feel career is only when I'm a medical doctor, I'm an engineer, I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant. No, if you're an entrepreneur, I know a few of you that have your companies. You already have a career, whether your company is catering company, whatever it is, that's your career. But is it what you've chosen for yourself? So whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are doing a skill trade, whatever it is you're doing, that is a career. Not necessarily that you went to university to study 6 years. No. Thank you for that. And this one says, is passion enough in the choice of a career path?
There are several. That's it's a key factor. Passion is a key factor, but like we discussed earlier, aside from passion, does this career path lead to success? You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Does it guarantee a chance to be who I want to be? For some people, actually, they don't essentially care about like living the big life or like having a flashy lifestyle or just stuff. Some people go purely for the passion and they love what they do and they are happy with that. Fine, that's definitely essential. Like it's not by force, definitely, but at the same time, it's always good to keep it at the back of the mind that the career you're going for will it guarantee success eventually? You understand? And with passion being there, passion adds more value to the career you're going. For example, me being a software developer now, it's a passion I've always had about computers since when I was a youngster. You understand? So it is easy for it to form, even the days where things doesn't look as nice as it is, or like even the days where things are dark and stuff, the passion is always there to rejuvenate the energy and to repump, you understand? So that will always be there. But at the same time, the other factors in the sense that will this thing pay the bills or will this ensure my success? You don't want to be in a particular career where you are regretting your choices and you're regretting that, oh, I can't even do stuff, you understand? So you also want to open your eyes very well and choose something that guarantees your success.
Thank you so much. Thank you. There's something he said before I asked him the next line of questions. He said that really caught my attention. Does this path lead to success? And passion sometimes does not pay. Will this thing actually pay your bills? To be honest, in my own career path, it does not pay the bills sometimes. In fact, most times it doesn't pay the bills. So when you're talking of passion, you have to tell yourself, this line that I'm about to pursue, what are my expectations?
Mm-hmm.
Will it lead to success? Some will lead to success. So will it pay the bills? Some will pay the bills, but it will be in the long run.
Exactly.
Like working with young people, coaching them, sometimes they don't even have money for you to coach them. They don't even have money for anything. And you know, this person, if you just say no, this person will commit suicide. Is it paying now? No. Will it pay? Of course, when all of you start buying private jets, start buying cars, at least one person will remember, Aunty Kelechi, let me ask her for her phone number, her account details, and pay her all the money that I've not paid her
Mm-hmm.
since I met her. So you need to please pay key attention to, don't be carried away with all the excitement of the speaker. Please pay key attention. This line, will it guarantee success? Will it also foot the bills? So you decide. And I just reiterated that some will not pay the bills right away. Some
Only
passion will pay in the long run. Okay. So thank you for that. So, the next question is, are there any specific self-assessment exercises or tests that can help me gain clarity on my career goals?
there are several assessments, but I mean, there are several assessments definitely to help guarantee. So I mean, to help lead to your career goals. But I don't know particularly of one right now. But I think at the end of the day, you just have to personally assess yourself. What do you think you want to do, and where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? You understand? And that also comes at what you're currently doing. So if you're currently doing something at this time, you ask yourself, am I happy with what I'm doing right now? Is this something I see myself doing on the long run? So if it is something you love doing and something you're passionate about, definitely carry on. That could be a successful career for you. But if it is something you dread waking up every day to actually do it, then ask yourself, what other thing can I find joy? Like, what other thing do I do probably once in a while that I find joy doing? For example, the earlier question of being an engineer, being a voiceover artist, and being a photographer. Understand? Like you have three different. Those are three different successful career paths to follow. You have the cheat code to life because you could wake up today and say, "I want to go full engineer. I want to work with the biggest engineering company," and you do that. Or you could wake up the next day and be like, I want to be a voiceover artist. I want to work for Pixar. I want to work for Disney. I want to animate. I want to be the voice artist to their animation and stuff. That's also successful. That's also a successful career path. Or you could say, I want to become a full-time photographer. I want to have my own studios, or I want to become like the director of photography for Netflix. I want to become the director of photography for Nike and stuff like that. So having those options like that, you have different paths to go into. Understand? So you could wake up anytime and choose anyone you want to go into. Understand? So just don't limit yourself to one. Keep thinking about the things you can do. Keep thinking about the things you're specialized in, the things you love to do. Understand? And find ways to improve yourself in all those things. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this. What he's saying. You see, he's still using the example of the question of the person that said he's everything. Okay, he's an engineer, voiceover artist, and photographer to give this to explain this point. You know, I see sometimes I tell most of you, don't just say I'm studying law, or don't just say I'm studying statistics. You don't have any other sides of you. You know, so I try to make some of you to just be a little bit versatile. As okay, I want to give you this project. Can you handle it? Can you do this? What I'm trying to make you know is to acquire maybe project management skill, acquire broadcasting skill. But some of you you will just refuse that. So if you can decide to just build up career in anything. Maybe A is not paying you. You just switch to B that is paying you the most, or that is giving you satisfaction. So don't be a T-shaped individual. You just this is just how it is, like this. There's no like this, there's no like this. You don't have depth, just T-shaped individual. That's what he's trying to say. And thank you so much for that. So the next question, I'm sure you guys are just excited. No more question there. Remember, I always take people's question. You're not saying, yes, yes, this is educating, this is that. Okay, good. Good for us. It will save our time. It's 1 hour, 30 minutes show, 1 hour show. So the next question is how can I balance financial rewards with my choice of a career path? This question not be answered. Well,
Academic balance financial reward. Okay, so career plan. I mean, Aunty Kelechi has definitely touched on that. Not all careers, you understand, you will receive the rewards instantly. Not everything will cut a check for you and say this is your money
mm-hmm,
for you. Another
mm-hmm,
important thing is to also weigh in is how impactful is what I'm doing. Like what even if it's not paying me financially, like is this something I could be proud of? You know, there are some things I do, like there are some things you do and you just be like, oh wow, I'm happy to do this. I'm happy to wake up every day, and I'm happy
mm-hmm.
to, you understand, I'm happy to go to work and do this thing. You understand?
Yeah.
So it might not pay for now, but you know, eventually there's always a reward for everything. You understand? So even if it is not paying for now and bills still needs to be paid, then you ask yourself, what other things can I do that can actually generate income and I can start pursuing? You understand? And that's where being multi-talented and multifaceted, multi-skilled comes in. You understand? So you know you have a passion for probably if you have a passion for anything, I don't know any example coming to my head right now. You have a passion for something, and that thing is not exactly the highest paying thing at this time. Definitely still keep doing it if you are still receiving joy from it, like if it is bringing in happiness for you, keep on to it. But at the same time, look for something else you could do that will actually bring in something for you. Because at the end of the day, you need to balance the scale. Understand? One has to be pumping up money and the other just for the understand. So the one for money, then you could look at, oh, is it me making snacks or like packaging or creating beads or like learning how to be how to crochet or how to design or how to then all that skills that you could sell either by skill or product. Things now think about which one do I want to do. Then you learn about it, watch videos, watch tutorials, build your skill on that. Keep doing both, you understand? The one that is you're passionate about, keep doing it. The one that pays you, keep doing it. So the one paying you will balance out for the money that this one is not bringing in. So that way you are successful with your passion project, but at the same time you are not lacking. It's not when end of the month is here and probably your rent is due and you can start explaining that, oh, this is a passion thing I'm doing. You understand? So you have to always balance things and find things that will definitely pay you for financially for that.
Thank you so much. In a nutshell, what he's saying is, um, let your um, let your job pay for your passion. I remember when some young people will meet me and they'll be like, they want to run an NGO. They have passion for girls or passion for this, and I'm like, NGO, okay? How do you want to fund the NGO? And they're like, oh, maybe I'm going to meet people. I say, meet who? Who will you meet? People that have their own needs. So I always ask them, what will fund the NGO? It's an NGO. What we use to fund it, and they often miss it. So he's trying to explain this part. What we fund, the passion. If it's just the passion you want to build, it's good. Please don't get me wrong. You can follow the passion, follow your dream, and all that. But if there's something you can add to it so that you don't get frustrated, because it can be frustrating when you are pursuing passion and there is no money to help, build the passion. All right, so I got some questions from YouTube, but I'm going to finish up. This is the last question for this, then I'll take the YouTube questions. Please, those in Facebook, uh,
Yeah.
okay, Adas asked the question. This is from Facebook. Uh, This one says, between passion and talent, if you were to choose, which would you consider? Passion and talent, what's the difference?
I mean, there's not as much difference per se, and like I said, I think the whole purpose of this call and something I've reiterated is you cannot stick to one. You don't need to stick to one. You understand? Just know your priority. Know what to focus on and know what to make sense of it. You understand? So your passion could be something that is not financially rewarding per se, but it is impactful. It is something that creates more positive value. You understand? Definitely, you can't throw that away and go only for something you're paid for. You still keep that, but at the same time, your talent could be something that you could be paid for. Probably you're a rapper, or like you're a spoken word artist, or you're a writer, or you're this.
Mm-hmm.
Do that to fuel, instead, do that to bring resources to ensure your passion is there. You understand? For example, if your passion, like Aunty Kelechi mentioned, like if your passion is about girls, or like or education and how to teach girls how to do stuff, you can't just kill that and say you want to pursue being a spoken word artist. You could keep that, but make sure you're doing something your talent is paying for the expense of that. Understand? Just balance it, think about it properly. How can I balance this together? How can I make them work together? How can I integrate them together and just keep it?
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. Integration, that was what I wanted to say when he's done. How to integrate my passion and my talent so that they can both work together and also bring fulfillment and satisfaction to me. So the last question for this, before I take the one on YouTube, is what advice do you have for someone who is considering starting their own business as a career transition option?
Yeah, that's a good question. Definitely. I mean, all the questions are a great question. So again, first thing is, if you are fully going it into business, how much research have you done? And how valuable is your business option for? You understand?
Mm,
Like always, something to always focus on is the thing I'm about to do, what is the ratio, what is the success ratio of things. And if you say you're going to go into it as a full business, meaning you are going to resign from your 9 to 5, you are going to stop your monthly income stream, this is going to be your main thing. So you can't have a business that is not refunding or that is not paying for anything. So you first do your research. How successful is this plan, or how am I going to properly carry on to it? Number two, you learn more. I mean, this should be number one. You learn more. You perfect your skills. You perfect your business plan. You perfect your product. You understand? Probably if you want to go into creating product like probably some people maybe body cream, or you want to probably you are selling something, or you have a skill that you want to make your food and everything, you perfect it to make it world class standard, something that is irresistible. You understand? Because you can't sell something that is below standard. Nobody's going to buy from you. You ensure everything is at world class standard. You ensure everything is perfect. Then, you understand, when all those are done, then you properly research, how do I run a business? How do I register for things? How do I create a successful business in terms of the management? You ensure all these particular plans are completed before you put in your resignation letter. You understand? You also always have something to fall back to. You don't want to run something and regret your choices at the end of the day. You understand? So you
Hmm.
have to ensure all the necessary plans are made. You have to ensure all the necessary things are put into place. Then, when you're confident that this is going on the right path, when you're confident that you've done all the necessary things, you've learned all the necessary skills, the product you're selling is really needed and it is definitely going to bring in what as expected, then you could stop or you could put in your resignation letter to focus on things. You understand? So there's
Hmm.
nothing bad in you having a 9 to 5 and also owning your own business, definitely. I know a lot of people that do that a lot. Like one is always funding the rest in case one drops, you understand? You still have something to carry on, you understand? So make sure it is perfect, make sure it is standard, make sure it is not, make sure it is something that people actually value, you understand? Then you could properly go for it.
Hmm. Thank you so much. In fact, at this juncture, I feel like telling him, in fact, we've had enough. We have quite about 6 questions, but I'll just take maybe one or two. I've been looking at which should I take first. Okay, I think a lot of them have this problem. Let me take it. It's from YouTube. How do I balance my current job while searching and preparing for a new career path?
So again, it's I think you have answered something similar in the beginning.
Exactly.
Number one is sacrifice, always sacrifice. Like you, something has to go for something to come in, and most time it is either time or money. But in this case, mostly it will be time. You understand? So you know you want to transition, you want to find a new skill, you want to go into a new career path. Definitely, you need to learn. You need to like learn towards it. You need to study towards it. And you're working a 9 to 5 that is probably very thrilling and very killing. You understand? And you need to study as well. So one thing to do is after work, even when you're tired, when you're dead tired, you still dedicate probably an hour each day or an hour. Maybe now you can do an hour each week. Just so that's too small. Probably a day, a full day each week, which could be Saturday or which could be Sunday, or after church, saying the moment I come back from church till the moment I sleep, I'm studying on how to program, on how to code. I'm only watching coding tutorials. Even though you might be working as a nurse or as a lab technician somewhere, you know you're still dedicating some time to learn. So you learn, you check different resources. At that time, you're still going to work, you're still being in that thing, but at the same time, you're also developing your career thing. Again, you don't want to stop one completely to just start learning and nothing is coming in. You want to have something that guarantees that things are going fine, but at the same time, you're still learning stuff. So it's all about dedicating time, sacrificing time. So probably the time you're supposed to be out with friends, use that time to properly study for the next certifications, for the next exam, for the next course you're trying to go into. Learn more about it, become an expert, be good at it, then start applying for job. And with your skill set, with the project you build, your resume will definitely be enough to land you something.
Great. Thank you so much. In fact, I'm so filled. I'm not gonna take the other YouTube questions because I feel there are things that if the person was paying, the people that have dropped them, if they were paying attention, they would have seen that you've touched on most of them. But I want to ask this question. This is my question, and I'm asking because I know that the youth organization we run, we have a few graduates, we have some graduates, we have more undergraduates, and most of them are in their final year. We also have a few percentage that are awaiting jam, awaiting admission or whatever it is. And I want you to talk on how to maximize opportunities as a student. Because in Nigeria, I see most of them don't like to do free things. They don't understand internships. They don't understand how to even position themselves so that at the end of the day, they can put those skills that they acquired from those things they did in their CVs, you know. So how do students, this is for especially for students, how do they
Mm.
maximize opportunities that can set them on a very good career path when they're applying for jobs in the near future?
Definitely. That's a very good question. And I think for everybody, one important skill to have is learn to volunteer. Learn to
Mm,
volunteer. That's a very you'll be surprised how far it will get you to. You'll be surprised how much you learn doing it. And it starts small, it starts from your church. Raise up here to be as part of the workforce. You're in the ushering department, you're in the finance department, you're in the media department. You're handling real life. items, real life materials, but somewhere where you could make mistake and they will pardon you. Like, you understand? For example, you choose to probably if you're a developer, you raise your hand that, oh, I'm going to develop the church website, or I'm going to build a new application for the church. The church should definitely say, go ahead, do this. You have at this time, you have a real project to do, the same skill you put in if you're working in any company. You have the liberty to study properly, build that thing, and even if any mistakes were made, it's something where you understand, you still have a lot of room for improvement and a lot of room to build stuff, you understand? So raise up your hand to volunteer with things. With volunteering, you learn a lot, you learn new things, you come across different things that eventually you go, oh, okay, this was actually what I did when I was probably a worker at the church, or when I was volunteering with Rainbow things, or when I was doing this, you understand? So learn to raise up your hand, learn to ask wherever you get into, whatever room you ask, you'll get into. Ask, how can I help? How can I do this? You understand? So although it might be small, it all adds up in the end. You understand? You probably see a non-profit organization. You ask them, how can my skill contribute to your organization? They will be happy to tell you, oh, thank you so much for raising your hand. These are the things we need. These are the things we need. And the thing with that is, you can build. For example, I'm coming from a developer aspect. Probably they say we need an application that can allow people to donate to our organization. You can build that particular organization, you study properly, you build a complex thing. And when you're done, you could literally just add it to your resume saying, I built a software application which was fully specialized, which allowed financial transactions on it. That is a very great project and the interviewers will be more impressed, but they won't ask you, is this, were you paid for this or this and that? They
Mm.
don't care about the details, but it is a valuable project that solves real world problems like that. Understand? So raise your hand every time. Ask Aunty Kelechi. If depending on what you want to be, for example, if you want to be an accountant, ask her, is there any finance thing that I can do to contribute in this ministry? You understand? If
Mm.
you're a developer, is there any web platform I could build for you? If you're a business analyst, is there any document I can write for you? If you're a graphic designer, do you need me to design anything for you? If you're an illustrator, do you need to create? You understand? Just raise your hand at all time. Ask ways you can help based on your skills, and always be happy. That's very important. Be happy to volunteer your time. Be happy to do things. Know that you are not losing anything. You are gaining more skill, and also it is exposure. Several people are looking at the brand. Several people are noticing it. You understand? So definitely you will receive this. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm sure that you listened to all he explained in this last question because I see that you people don't like most of the Nigerian youth. You don't want to maximize opportunities because they are simply free. But what you are learning in that thing you are volunteering for is more than what you would have paid for because you can't gain experience, when you're not working.
Mhm.
You can't just gain experience when you wake up from sleep and that's all, and you write CVs. No, you gain experiences when you are working. And what is working? When you're volunteering, you're working. So I endeavor to do those free things. They add up. Like Loki was telling me, he was in his church in his church in Nigeria. It was in ICT, ITC, yes, ITC department, and that's where he learned all the skills. Today is in engineering, he's into photography, video editing. If you know ITC department in churches, that's where all these things are learned. He was doing it for free, and but he used it to develop himself. And I say a lot of you don't want to serve in your church is you've been forced in the organization Rainbow Youthings. You still don't do anything. You're being forced. Please, it's very important because we're looking at the near future for you. Let your CVs be packed. And if any of you tell lies that in your CV that you did this thing in Rainbow Youthings, it's not me, it's the Holy Spirit that will be dealing with you because I know those of you that will come to me and say, please, ma, can you write later? I'll tell them, no, I cannot write any letter for you. One, you did not serve, you have not done anything for Rainbow Youthings. We are 7 years now, 6 years rather. There's nothing you have done that is noteworthy. or you did for 2 months and ran away, I will not write later. And you cannot lie using us. I pray the organization that you're trying to lie with our name will reach out. I will even help you to spoil it. I'll say, I don't know this person. This person does not exist. Please, please serve, acquire those knowledge, all right? Build those skills. They are free, yes, build them. I was serving and serving and serving and serving until I had to say this before our guest speaker will give his final speech. I started teaching children, and then I was always serving, always trying to bring in people, always, I used to flog those children because they were stubborn. Then I'll flog them, their parents will be angry at me. They were stubborn. If I tell them to sit, they will sit. I'll flog them. I kept on putting them together, working, saving at every opportunity. And when my pastor's wife became the commissioner of women affairs, River State. Yes, she was the commissioner for women affairs. She picked me. I was a student in the University of Port Harcourt. Then it was ASU long strike. She just picked me to be her PA.
Wow.
Imagine, that was what gave me a career boost. Imagine a young, and once I submit CV, that's the first thing that people usually say, like, wow, at that time you were this. I was an undergraduate, 2009. I worked. I worked as her PA. Imagine, I was always serving, very committed, that I was given that opportunity. And today I put it in my CV. Both of us always love on ourselves on social media. She's on Facebook, so I can't lie. I always mention her name. She gave me my first professional boost. But it came because I was serving. I positioned myself, everything was for free. But in the ministry, it wasn't for free. I made so much money. I even traveled to do a diploma course with the money I made from the ministry. You can imagine that. So please, sir, all right, acquire those skills, those tools. You would need it, whether in marriage, whether in career, whether in anything, you will need those skills. Okay, so before we call it a day, I want Lucky, he has seen all the questions. I want him to, give you his heartfelt advice, something that would be like his mantra. He will tell us his mantra, and something that will stick in your brains, for the rest of your career pursuits.
Thank you so much. So I think first thing I'd like to say is thank you so much for the opportunity and thank you so
You're
much for the
welcome.
platform. Like it's meant a lot to be
Thank
here
you.
to give this advice to share my little knowledge with everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you. So in terms of my final advice, number one, always make sure to choose right, pray to God, choose where you want to be right. Because your decision today is what literally determines your next 5 to 10 years sometime.
Hmm.
And although there's flexibility to saying you could switch career, you could change or anytime you want, but also know that there's also like a detour time. It takes a while to properly, fully transition into where you want to be. You understand? So it's better to make those right decisions now. Don't just choose a career because your best friend is also going into it, or don't just choose a career because you know someone who is currently working in there. You understand? Properly research, properly ask yourself, where do I want to be, or what is the things I like to do? What is the things I see myself doing in the next 5 years? If you want to become a doctor and probably your best friend is a lawyer and you're a lawyer, because of that, you choose law and you know you're not fluent in arguments, you don't know how to properly express yourself. Eventually, you
Hosanna,
won't.
lawyer, argumentator.
So, and you know you're not good in that, definitely you won't thrive in that. Then it will now take
That's
you a
right.
very long time to now reroute, which might not eventually be possible again, because in the medical scene, that's a very long thing. So, know what you're good at. Don't let anybody influence you outside of what you believe yourself to be. And
Hmm.
take the time to study yourself, take the time to be good at the things you do, and choose the right career. Understand? So, and aside from that, also make use of your talent properly. Volunteer. That's what got me to anywhere I am. Like one just happened like last weekend, like this last week, due to volunteer, I was able to meet several people, which on a regular day I'm not allowed in the 5 mile radius of them. But because I volunteered, because I raised up my hand, I was literally in the same room as them. You understand? So be open to volunteer, be happy to help, be happy to contribute, be happy to give your skill out because number one, you are improving more in the skill, you are learning, you are seeing more challenges to improving. Number two, people who you are actually giving those skills to will like you, they will, like you mentioned, they will think about you whenever opportunities come that they believe is perfect for you. And
Mm,
lastly, you get to be exposed to several other people, several other stakeholders, you understand, and way you stand and they'll be like, oh, is that not the person that is designing graphic design for Rainbow Teams, or is that not the
mm,
finance person at Rainbow Team? That person may also be a good finance person at our company or something like that. You are being
yes,
exposed to different opportunities, you understand? So be
yes.
happy to raise your hand at all time, be happy to
Hmm.
volunteer.
Hmm.
And yeah, and also don't kill God out of everything. Always
Hmm.
remember to God and ask for advice. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh my God.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Lucky. You're a darling. Thank you so much for this thought-provoking session. Matters Arising has never been better. This is awesome. We're really grateful to have you. You are a force. And never forget that you are a force. I'm not just saying this online because I've said so many things to you too, but this is true. You are a force, and you've not started. You're just making arrangements. You're just making preparation. You will go further than you even imagine. So
Mm,
from us in Rainbow Youthings and Matters Horizon, this is where we draw the curtain for the month of May edition of Matters Horizon. And if you want us to have him back, like who was the person you guys wanted? Oh, the tech lady that you wanted her to come back. If you want us to have Lucky or somebody back, please do well to email me and I'll give you the price that we're going to pay him. Please, this is free. Everything, everyone will bring us this show. We don't pay them. You can imagine the volunteering we're talking about is what he is doing and what all our guest speakers, even when we brought the provost of my former university, I didn't pay her. I said it on air. These are people that have dedicated their lives to make sure that others are better at whatever they are doing with their wisdom and their knowledge. So my prayer for them is that they will never see a better
mm,
yesterday. And
mm,
remember, Lucky, from the beginning of what Lucky said to the end, the God factor was always number one. God factor is always number one. Whatever you were doing, as you navigate your career, navigate courses, please don't put God after. Put him first. And put all this knowledge you have learned today into practice. Rewatch it. I saw some people saying they just came in. Please, not to worry. Once we're done, replay the video. In fact, download this video, play it all through so that you can glean wisdom from everything that was shared today and put them to practice. I want to see the African youth on world map, not just only Hilda, every one of you. You know, those of them in Nigeria, in Canada, the Nigerian youth are doing so well in Canada. I want to also see them doing so well, both in Nigeria and every other part of the world. All right, so we're gonna see you next month for another Matters Arising. Don't worry, we'll bring Lucky again. So this is from me and Lucky. Thank you for coming. Merci beaucoup. We love you. And bye bye. Thank you, Lucky. Bye bye
Take
there.
care. Take care. Take
Yeah.
care.